is a very simple question, but it has stumped many students. Let's take a look. It asks, what is the value of the square root of 2 and what is I? I is an imaginary number. What does I mean? It's the square root of -1. It equals -1. That's by definition. Why? Because you can't take the square root of -1. It's meaningless. So mathematicians defined it as such. The square root of -1 equals I. It's an intangible number. It's not a real number. It's an imaginary number. So we can define it. Just define the square of I as its square. And that equals -1, right? Okay, so here's the question. How do we solve this problem? What is it equal to? It's equal to 0. That doesn't work. 1 doesn't work either. It's not that simple. Let's suppose that after taking the root, it's an imaginary number, okay? This thing, after taking the root, shouldn't be a real number, right? Let's suppose it's an imaginary number just as an assumption. So after taking the square root of I, let's suppose it equals something like this, a plus by, okay? This is the real part, this is the imaginary part, and together they make a negative number. A negative number can have both a real and an imaginary part. All right, let's assume it consists of a real part and an imaginary part, just as an assumption. Then its square should be equal to -1, right? I squared equals -1. So, what is its square equal to, everyone? Its square is not equal to 2. Is its square equal to 2? Didn't you assume that the square root of 2a equals a plus bi? Square both sides, right? Square this side, square that side, and it equals I. All right, let's work out what a and b equal. Let's expand it. A squared plus its square, that's b squared plus I squared, right? And then plus 2 times this times that, 2ab, 2. Hopefully, love. Right? Let's work out what a and b equal. Isn't I squared equal to -1? Isn't its square -1? So that's a squared minus b squared. Plus 2abi equals I. Is there any problem with that? Let's standardize it. I'm getting a bit confused myself. This is a real number. A squared minus b squared. That's a real number. Let's group all the imaginary parts together. I minus 2abi. This is the real part and this is the imaginary part. If we factor out I, what's left inside is 1 minus 2ab, right? Isn't it 1 plus ab? It's a squared minus b squared. That means this side is the real part and this side is the imaginary part. How can a real number possibly equal an imaginary number? It's impossible. There's only one possibility. What is it? It must be exactly 0. It also has to be exactly 0. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense, right? So, a squared minus b squared must be 0. And 1 minus 2ab must also be 0. Isn't this just a system of equations? A squared minus b squared equals 0. And then 1 minus 2ab equals 0. Just solve the equations to find the value of ab. That's all. These a and b must be equal. That's not necessarily the case. If a squared equals b squared, that just means equals plus or minus b, right? That is, the absolute value of a is equal to the absolute value of b. And also, what is the product of a and b? If you move it over and divide by 2, a times b is 1/2, right? So that means a and b still have to be equal, or they are negatives of each other. So what is it equal to? Isn't it equal to square root of 2 over 2? Feeling a bit confused? So is b also equal to square root of 2 over 2? They're equal to each other. Yeah, and then their product is equal to 1/2, right? How do we figure this out? Isn't it equal to this? It could also be negative, right? It could also be negative square root of 2 over 2. Yeah, isn't that possible too? It could be negative square root of 2 over 2 for b as well. So how many possibilities are there?